everyone, and welcome back to Decisive Squirrel Homestead. It's been a long while. I don't think we've put up a video in 2 months. Unfortunately, in July we had a family member that was diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer, and we dealt with a death in the family at the end of July. So there's been a lot of things that had to happen with that. It kept everything very busy for a long while with hospitals and everything. Around that time, because we were in Texas, the garden was wrapping up anyway, so we had already preserved a ton of food. We actually used up all of our jars. We got more jars from an old boss of mine. We filled those up. We freeze dried a bunch of things. We completely filled our pantry and had to start finding other places to store the food that we had put away. So the garden was pretty much done. It was looking really rough by July anyway, and we just kind of let it all go. More recently, we pulled out everything that was left, like, the dead plants, just cut them off at the ground, pulled up the weed barrier that we had, took out our climbing arches, and we have been running the chickens over the garden for the last probably 3 or 4 weeks now, just to kind of scratch up things and eat the bugs and put down more nitrogen and help with the garden in that regard. Now that it is mid-September, we are getting close to fall, not really fall planting. Around here you can do almost like a second summer, so you can do a fall planting of tomatoes and things like that. We don't need any more tomatoes, we had plenty, so we aren't doing those things, but we're doing more winter plants. So broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, beets, onion seed, carrots, all sorts of things like that. So we're getting ready to do that. We're doing prep for that. And I was just going to give you all an update and show you what things look like and give you a little bit of a rundown of what worked and what didn't and what we learned from our first year with this garden at this property. And then we'll continue on and show you what things look like for the winter. So let's go check things out. So this is just a fun little project. We cleaned out this area that was looking really rough and raggedy and put in some nice flowers for butterflies and moved some of our herbs over here. We do have fish in that tank. They're getting pretty big. I don't think you can see them in the video though. They're kind of hiding down in there right now. I do have seedling trays. It's seedling time again. I have sprouts that are starting to come up. I'm trying to start broccoli from seed. I tried that in the spring. I did not succeed. That was like the only thing that didn't work well. So we'll see if it works better in warmer weather, just doing it outside. If not, we'll go buy starts. So that's up by the house. And let's walk around to the garden. So as you can see, we have taken out everything. No weed barrier, no climbing arches. It's all cleared out, and the chickens are here. They've been doing lots of work. They would still like me to bring them food, so they're all like, hey, where's the food at? We do have one broody hen that keeps collecting all of the eggs from everybody and sitting on them and throwing quite a bit of a fit when we try to take them away. But here's what the garden looks like, where we were actually growing things. I think this weekend we're going to be putting down more compost. We're going to till that in. I know the end thing is no-till gardening. I just don't see that working around here. What we are going to do is we are going to weed barrier this entire area this time. So we aren't going to leave space in between so that we have less grass coming up, and we turn this more into all garden area. We do still have peppers over here that are actually still putting out a few peppers, but not much. They're pretty much done for. Lots of weeds growing up around them and all of that. Our blackberries along the fence are doing a lot better. They're starting to climb and take over, so that's good. Over here at the compost pile, we had this compost bin on the right was completely full, and it's composting down, so you can see it's sunk down quite a bit from the top, which is the goal. That's what's supposed to happen. Our Hugo culture bed that had corn in it didn't do well. We got a bunch of little tiny ears of corn that I think we can use for seed. We've never been successful growing corn. I think we don't plant enough of it, but we're probably going to try again just to see what happens. Our sad little dead peach tree over here I think really is still dead. So I don't think that's going to come back. We gave it the year to see if it would recover from the freeze, but I just don't think it's going to. Our cattle panels that are for climbing plants are just leaned up here against the fence because we will use those again. They came out pretty easy. It's, you know, a lot of work just because there's a lot of them, but they're durable. You can pull them out and they're still fine to use again, which is nice. Over here where we had the potatoes, we pulled those out. Those also didn't do any better than growing them just in the ground. So potato towers were a failure. We will not do that again. We have grown potatoes in the ground before. We got similar yields. I don't know that we're gonna do that this year. It's just that potatoes are like one of the cheapest things you can buy anyway. So it seems like a better use of time to grow something else. Our wicking beds look pretty messy and raggedy right now. There is a little bit of a method to the madness. This one is just weeds and trash. We'll clear that out and plant something else there. This one is mostly these big tall fronds. This is all asparagus, and so you let it do this to build a better root system so you can get more asparagus in the future. So that's supposed to look all messy like that. There is some, I don't know if this is asparagus. I think this is dill that got mixed in. Nope, still asparagus. Basil here has been left. It's gone to seed / flower. You can maybe see there's a butterfly in there enjoying that. One of our honeybees is over here. So those flowers are nice to have out for the tiny critters. There's some lettuce that's gone to seed. I did collect some of that seed so we can plant again. This one is just a mess of herbs. There's all sorts of things in here. There's still mint, there's some parsley, oregano. What else do I see? Different kinds of mint in here, several different kinds. Strawberries were doing so well until they weren't. And then it was like they just all died at once. We finally figured out a bed that we thought had a leak actually had no drainage, and so it was too wet. That was one of the problems. I think another problem was just getting too hot. I was planning to, I want to split these strawberries out and put them in the main garden, just put them in the ground and see if we can keep them going. But there's a lot fewer than I thought I had because these beds were full of healthy plants like a month ago. But like I said, we had more important things that we needed to worry about and take care of, and so this just kind of went kaput. This just got left. The herbs that are growing up here on the side, this is all thyme. That's really happy. But I'm going to see if I can pull all of that stuff out of those strawberry beds and move it into the main garden. And then these wicking beds will just be things like herbs and asparagus from here on out. Now let's go take a look at the fruit trees that are in front of the house. So our fruit trees out here are doing pretty good. Peach tree out here is pretty happy and growing. What we've been doing for these is we have a 5-gallon bucket with, I think it's an 1/8 of an inch hole drilled in the side of it near the bottom. So you fill that with water, set it at the base of the tree, and it gives the 5 gallons of water to the tree slowly and steadily so it doesn't wash away dirt or anything. Apple tree looking pretty good. A little bit of heat stress. Ready for fall and winter also. And this apple tree down here is really happy. This one's doing really good. And some of our flowers that we put down at the bottom are still blooming. We've left those for butterflies and bees. A lot of our berry experiments up here did not do really well, but this one's still going well. And this one down here has come back. We need to put weed barrier down and mulch around these and give them a fighting chance. I would have to look at my book to see which is which. There were Nanking cherries and service berries, which is like a blueberry up here. I think we'll be able to get those to take off eventually, but they just need a little more TLC than they have gotten recently. Over here on the other side, we have our plum trees. They are also growing and looking great. This one's really happy. It's grown a lot. It's put out a lot of growth at the top there. And then our flowers that we put down at the bottom here are also real happy. Over here on this side, our lime, peach, and lemon trees are doing really well. These have put out a lot of growth. They look really healthy. They have come along just fine. We have some goji berry plants that we got from a friend that I think we let die and have brought back to life. They're looking pretty scraggly, but they're there. They have green growth. So hopefully with a little more care, they'll do fine. My artichokes that I was trying to nurse along are not doing so great. A couple of them have some green left to them, but they just got neglected when I was gone, and that's okay. That's how things go. So that's what's been going on at the homestead. I do have a video on how to render the beeswax from when we collected honey. I have one more step I need to do on that in video, and then we can put that up. And we will continue making videos of what's going on with the garden as we get through fall and winter, so you can see what's happening with that. So we will be back hopefully on a more regular schedule, and we will talk to y'all later. Bye.